Alright guys, welcome to the e-commerce knowledge base. Today we're going to be turning knowledge from books, turning them into profit, and how this book can actually freaking blow up your online business. Literally, this book helped me, you won't believe you won't believe the ROI in this book. This book costs $27. I mean, you can get it on Kindle for $9, but the point is, the ROI in this book is crazy because the knowledge that it's put out there works perfectly in e-commerce world. And by e-commerce, I mean like physical store. I'm like talking about courses, digital products, if it's on SaaS, whatever it is, physical products that, physically being shipped out. Whatever you do, whatever you sell, if you sell it online, this book will help you to drive your conversion. This is the number one book that I recommend for online business. By any means, literally. So this book is about cognitive psychology, 25 cognitive biases, and how they can actually help you to drive your conversions just basically out of stratosphere. I'm talking seriously. Like even Google made a study and he found 6 most powerful biases that drives conversion and increases your sales by 90%. Only 6. There's 25 here. So you might want to pay attention. By the way, all the notes right here. Incredible book. I've took the first bias and I'm gonna be basically showing this on for you, and I'm gonna go to my whiteboard and we're gonna be basically downloading this knowledge into your brain. So listen guys, I've never even thought in my life that books can actually make you money, so much money. So the first thing we're going to start is relativity bias. So this is the first thing. It's called relativity bias, and this bias can make you a lot of money, literally a lot of money. So in e-commerce world, and basically in any like marketing, the last thing you want to do is to let people decide for themselves. That's just, it sounds stupid, sounds maybe like crazy, but like people want to decide themselves. But listen, I don't want to decide. They don't want to decide for themselves. People literally want to be silently told what's the best. And I use these biases to kind of like maybe help them, but still in my advantage. It's not manipulation. I would say it's just influence. So I want to like point out that we like it just from everything from all the notes. We like to make decisions. I want you to just understand that we like to make decisions. By the way, all the notes I'm going to link up to under this video. We like to make these decisions based on comparison. Do you recognize yourself? Comparison. The word comparison. So we're gonna go a little deep right here, a little scientific. So I'm gonna be drawing something that not a lot of people on YouTube doing. I'm pretty sure it's kind of crazy for you, but yes, we're gonna be drawing axes, right? You remember the school sucks. It's the stupidest place in the world, but for me, but science can make you money, right? All right, so now let's take a product. Let's just pick a product. We're gonna have 2 products here. The product A, it's gonna be, let's just say, I don't know, a toaster. Okay, a toaster. And product B is gonna be, all right, if we go to like a kitchen niche, let's just say, I don't know, air fryer. So we have a toaster and we have an air fryer. Now, I want you to understand, like, let's just say this is the A and B axis. So now we have 2 axes, right? And so we have these 2 products right here. So A and B. So a toaster and B is an air fryer. Toaster, air fryer. So now in example A, right, if we are making a decision, it's just, like maybe like generic Shopify store, or even not a Shopify store. I use personally ClickFunnels. I am all my e-commerce stores just because I like use software, like a real software, not like Shopify and all this crap. So in this example, it's gonna be me, right, as a buyer, potential buyer, as a customer, and so I'm just in the middle, just right here. And so the thing is, for me to make a decision, it's gonna be probably 50-50, right? So it's either 50 or 50, right? Either of them, right? So it's either toaster, air fryer. I don't know, because like kind of like similar. I'm not sure what to buy, right? But the point of this buys is to actually, you gotta like take it, like you gotta decide for people, not they gonna decide for them. That's the whole point, right? You're gonna help them to decide, and so you gotta basically pick which one you want to sell, right? Let's just say you want to sell air fryer. I want to sell air fryer. I don't want to sell a toaster. I want to buy people air fryer. Let's just say air fryer is gonna cost more than a toaster, so it's in my interest to sell like a air fryer. Now with this first example, 50-50, that's not what I want really. It's actually looks like 150, but it's 50-50. In this example, really, I'm like relying 50-50. I don't know. They gotta make a decision, and this decision, when something like starts with 50-50, that's a pretty bad like situation, because prospects are confused. Is this 50-50? I don't know. I have a really, really high chance to leave aside. That's why you have a conversion like 2 to 3% on a Shopify. That's why you have it 50-50. That's pretty bad. Now with this bias, we're not using this bias here. We're using a relativity bias. Now hear me out. So this is the toaster, this is the air fryer. Now in order for me to help them to make a decision, what I'm gonna do, you gotta understand this like a little thing. It's called decoy. What is a decoy? It's a one. I know it sounds kind of like weird, but just hear me out for a second. So decoy A1, basically what it is, it's a similar product. Similar in this case, that would be a toaster, right? Sorry, we want to sell air fryer. In this case, that would be B1. Okay, that would be B1. I apologize for that. So B1, right? Because we want to sell air fryer, so if we're gonna use the relativity bias, we're gonna use this product that we want to sell. So B1. Now, what is a B1? It's the similar product that's little bit worse than the one we want to sell, right? So we want to sell, just remember, we want to sell B. Now in order for us to sell B, if you know anything about like like human psychology, if you understand human psychology, is that our brain tends to do what? Our brain tends to take shortcuts, right? So if we see a toaster and an air fryer, right, in this example, right, we're gonna choose 50-50. We don't know which one to choose. If we see a toaster and an air fryer, and then we see another air fryer that's like just an air fryer, we don't know if that's the bad or that's the worst or the better. We just see them. Our brain actually tends to, we're biased to kind of compare what's similar. Now you see, like, we're not comparing B with B1, so we're comparing air fryer with the air fryer that's a little bit worse than the air fryer, but they don't know this yet. So now they're comparing to air fryer, and guess what happens? They're comparing air fryer, and they're gonna choose B1. Obviously, we're gonna make this obviously for them that, we're gonna make this obviously worse, and this actually obviously better on the contrast, in the contrast with the B1. So now they're not choosing A, they're not comparing A with B, they're comparing B with B1. And when they choose a winner, they're gonna choose B, and they're gonna think that B is better overall. That's the whole point, right? So they're not comparing A and B, they're comparing B with B1, and they tend to think that B, they made a choice, and now they're like thinking, well, B, I chose it, so that's better overall. So they're not even comparing with A. Now they just basically chose an air fryer. They didn't even have to compare this shit. Boom. That's how it works. All right, so it's kind of crazy, but maybe it sounds like a stupid like for you like at first, but just like let's just go to another example. So for the second one, just to like give you some numbers, it happens. This thing works 75% at a time, literally 70% of the time. So 75%, like it's gonna like literally work like this. If I'm like whatever it is, if I'm comparing TVs, if I'm comparing like a 4K, if I'm choosing between 8K TV and 4K TV, and you just like drop the decoy of a 4K TV that is a little worse than that TV, I'm comparing 4K TVs and I choose the 4K that is better, and now I'm choosing the 4K TV. I'm not choosing 8K. In this example would be, of course, better be like, dropping decoy on the 8K because that's just more expensive. But the point is this now. Another example that this book shows that about the bread, right? So the bread, I'm like literally just like take those notes right now. So the bread, so we have a bread that cost $49, which is kind of crazy, I know, but that's what it says. And so usually, I mean, like, would you buy a bread for $49? I doubt that, really. No one buys that. No one buys that because that's just more expensive. But if you drop a bread, for example, that one bread for $49, and you drop a bread for $149, now I gotta think a little bit. Something up with this bread, right? So now you're comparing. Okay, so this one, if you just like look at this bread for $49, you just look at this bread like, bro, like why the hell does it cost $49? But when you see the two breads, now you can compare those two. Like, okay, this costs $49, but this costs $149. I'm like, something up with this bread. Let me try one. And so they're probably gonna pick this bread for $49. But the point is, like, they can make a decision, right? Because if there's nothing to compare with, right, there's nothing. They can compare, they can make a decision. If they see this bread, they can, like, compare. The anchor was dropped, right? They can compare this bread to the more expensive one. What it could cost $900. It doesn't matter. They gotta have something to compare, right? They gotta have something to compare. Now, people can actually make a decision. Am I saying everybody gonna buy this? No, I'm just saying they can. Here it's like, it's like a little the tiniest sliver of the diagram that they're gonna buy this, right? So this is like that's percent they're gonna buy this because that's like there's nothing to compare to, like why it's overpriced, right? Here they can see like, okay, this brand just got something I can compare to, can choose one. So now I want you to take a look at the third example. That's the easiest one, that's the most funniest one. Let's just say we're like buying a spatula. Imagine you going to, I don't know, Walmart and buying a spatula, right? That's like a basic spatula, nothing crazy, right? Like SpongeBob would appreciate this, right? Like a little spatula, right? Nothing crazy. So the first store, right, that you stumble upon, that you drove into on the parking lot and you went to the store, went to the first Walmart. I mean, there's no difference in Walmarts, but let's just say you buy it in Walmart and it costs like, I don't know, $7, right? So $7. And let's just say in Target, you would buy this for, the Target sells it at $19, right? And so now that's you're in Target, right? So you're in Target, and you gotta be like, thinking a little bit. Well, now like we like just I just want you to understand, we compare the relative advantage, the relative advantage of the cheap spatula with the more expensive one. And now it like kind of makes sense to just save $12, right? Because like, listen, this spatula is just not such a big purchase, right? Like, it's super cheap. Like, why would I just really spend $12 more in Target if I can go to Walmart, right? If I can go to Walmart and buy it for like $12 less, and it makes sense, right? So that's the first example. Now imagine you're buying a suit. So here's a suit. I'm not the best at drawing, but that's gonna be our suit. Looks like a t-shirt, but let's just say that's a suit, right? Because suits are freaking expensive. It's freaking costly and shit. All right, so that's a suit. And so now let's just say, I mean, I'm not sure if Walmart sells suits, right? But let's just say you went to some store, like a local store, right? And the first store sells it at $1,700, and the second one sells it at $1,712, right? So $12 more, and you again stumble upon, unfortunately, in the second store that sells it at $12 more. Now, will this make a difference? Will you really drive all the way? Let's just say, the distance between those stores, like, I don't know, 2 miles. And here you would drive it 12 miles, 100%, right? You would just like hop in a car and drive all the way, to Walmart to buy this. You just save $12. But here, the relative advantage of the price, like, it's very, very, very small, right? It's insignificant. And so, like, if you were already spending $1,700, you're gonna spend this $12. You're not gonna see this difference, even though you really not, like, you literally just like wasting $12. Here, you're also wasting $12, but like here, for some reason, people are gonna buy this, and like they're not gonna feel the difference just because they were spending so much money. That's the like relative advantage of prices, right? So far we've covered the relativity bias. It's kind of like advanced. I don't see this that often on YouTube, but people actually teach like how biases can actually be helpful for online store, and kind of like increase sales. So you might use it, you might not, but the point is, like, I mean, if you don't use it, like, you obviously gonna make money. You're obviously not gonna make money, or you're obviously gonna lose money, because if someone does, you're gonna lose in country. So I hope you just take it away, implement this on your store right now, and just increase your sales, right? So that's basically was it. I hope this video was helpful, and it was Daniel Lit, and I'll see you in the next one, on the next bias, which called fallacy of supply. So in fact, this bias actually helped Starbucks went from commodity kind of like coffee shop that were competing with 2 donuts to a giant multi-billion-dollar monster. They're just killing coffee industry right now. So like, listen guys, if you have some sort of fear of missing out, you might really want to hit the notification bell. And listen guys, the next video is going to be a freaking bomber, so please subscribe. And that was Daniel Lit, and I'll see you next week. Subscribe.